Okay then, video and low in the 306. Bit of a debatable subject. Front's always nice and simple, back can often be a pain in the ass. This is because it's on torsion bars rather than springs. It's basically fairly simple. You're up down here for your drum, swing arm, and then it goes right across the other side, and you've got two torsion bars, one for each side. The torsion bars twist, and that's what gives you suspension. It's also an anti-roll bar that goes right through the middle. Right then, first step to lowering the back end is to jack the car up, get it on, well, I'd put it on jack on each side and put two axle stands under the central beam. Make sure you put it under the actual centre beam, just in case anything slips. Get it all jacked up, and first thing you want to do before you adjust anything is measure your distance between top of hub and wheel arch, because that's your starting distance. So obviously you've already decided what you want to lower, I assume. But if you want to lower 40 mil, then obviously you want to end up with that distance between there and there being 40 mil smaller than what you started with. Right, when you're doing this job, WD-40 is your best friend. Just spray everything in WD-40. Basically, there's an Allen key bolt there that holds the retainer for your handbrake cable and brake cable. The end of this plate here, keep that covered. There's another bolt in here, spray that. And further in the hub there is the end of the other torsion bar, spray that. Just get it all nice and covered and soaking in WD-40. It's actually the same on the other side, which is a bit dark so you can't see it. Once you've let that soak, the first thing you've got to do is actually remove the anti-roll bar, which is fairly simple, but it's usually quite stark. If you've got a newer car like Phase 3, it all just seems to fall apart nice and easily, but if you've got an older Phase 1, you'll find it's pretty seized. So first thing we'll do is take the Allen key bolt out with an Allen key, or something. I've actually already undone it, so I'm just going to take it all the way out for you. So, like that. Always a good idea to have a tray to keep bits in. Now this plate, there's a plate there, which the bolt we just took out is one end. That whole plate you need to take off. There's basically a plate on each side, and the anti-roll bar goes through the middle, and this is what grips the anti-roll bar, which keeps the two sides in parallel. Now, to get them off, you can have if you've got a slide hammer, you can put it in these. There's a threaded hole in. Actually, I've already removed it, but you didn't see. There's a little plastic bung that screws in that hole on the end of the plate. It's got a Torx bit in it, but you'll probably find it just rounds because it's so tight and the plastic isn't strong enough, so you'll probably have to smash a screwdriver in it. Big flathead screwdriver like that one, and then undo it that way. If you can't even get it out, then you might even just end up digging it out, get it out, and that'll be okay, and then get some new ones at the end. The easiest way to do this, if you don't have a slide hammer, which I don't, then you can still do this without one, is to find a bolt that fits in there, as in just your ordinary normal bolt. Try and get a fairly hard one because you don't want it shearing off in there, because that's a real pain. And then you simply screw the bolt into that hole and just keep screwing it, and eventually it'll come up against the torsion bar and press the plate out this side. I've already pressed it out. It actually came out fairly easily because I've had it out before. It'll probably be quite tight, but that's basically the plate. If you look in the hole, you can see the torsion bar in there, which that was over earlier. As you can see, because I've released it on the other side of the car, the plate on this side is now completely free to move. If you pull this, pull the whole plate, and you'll pull the anti-roll bar right out with it. Just pull that right out of the car and put it to one side, because you don't want that for a minute. As you can actually see, the seals, there's a little seal on each end that goes around. I'll get the light in a minute. There's a seal that goes around there. Now I can tell that mine's probably gone because there's loads of condensation in here, which isn't really brilliant, so that will just seize it up even more over time. So if you can, when you do this, it's always a good idea to replace these seals if they're looking like they're a bit perished. Well, life's never easy. Got the bar half out and this fairly great V8 of criticism in the way. God. Now in terms of actually lowering it, what we're basically trying to achieve is we want to basically remove the torsion bars, move the beam to its new location, and put the torsion bars back in, and then it will stay there. But what you basically need to do it simply is well, it's called a slide hammer. It's basically like a reversed hammer, which you attach to the end of the torsion bars. It's one in there, and the other one you get to from the other side. And you basically just pull the torsion bars out by sliding them out, push that up and put them back in. But I don't have a slide hammer, and probably most people don't either, and sometimes even with a slide hammer you'll find it seized that solid, you won't be able to move it. So the way I do it is to basically literally slide the whole trailing arm out from the central beam, smash the torsion bars out, put it back together, get it all covered in oil, and put it all back together again. So the first thing you want to be doing is, well, it doesn't really matter what order you do this in, but you've got to release, at some point you've got to release the bottom shock bolt, only the bottom one, because that's attached to the swing arm, which you need to move. So release that, and also you need to release the torsion bars, both of them at both ends. So this end, there's a little Torx bit in there. So that's just like a cap on the end, which holds a plate in. So you've got a socket with a Torx bit in, or whatever you've got. Undo that one, which shouldn't be too tight. There it goes. Just release that one. Now underneath this bolt there's like a like an off-centered plate. See, it's only a little tiny little bolt like that. Put that in your tray. Now in here, it's probably quite hard to see because the light isn't brilliant. It's basically like a washer with a hole. It looks like it's off-centered. Now you've got to get that washer out, but it doesn't just pull straight out. It doesn't just come straight out because it's like slotted up into there. There's basically a slot on half of this hole which is further in, so you push the washer in and then slide it up. So what we want to do is slide the washer down and then force it out. Best way to do it is with a flathead screwdriver. Just keep forcing it down, in and out, cover it in WD-40 and it will come out eventually. Once that's out, repeat that on both sides, because there's another one of these on the other side. And then for the other end of the torsion bar, it's just a in there you can see there's just a flathead. It looks like a bolt with a flathead screwdriver end with a nut on it. You hold the bolt with a flathead screwdriver and then undo the nut and just retract the nut completely and put the nut to one side. Leave the bolt in there for now.